All right, guys, in today's video, I'm going to talk about the perfect resume and LinkedIn profile for you. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Katie. I'm a coach at CareerSprout. On average, it takes us about 63 days to help somebody grow their salary by about $37,000. So when you are looking for a job, one of the most important pieces in someone's mind is their resume. A lot of people start their job search there, a lot of people get stuck there, and a lot of people stress out about their resume. So over the weekend, what I did was I went through all of the typical people who come to us. You've got your customer success managers, your project managers, your program managers, your product managers, your account executives, your engineers, your data analysts. And what I've been doing is I have been collecting what we call perfect resume from students of ours that I know for a fact this is the resume they posted on job boards and this is their LinkedIn profile. And I know that they had recruiters and hiring managers reaching out to them almost immediately, usually within 24 hours. So what we're gonna do is walk through a couple of examples so that you can see the patterns that go into making the perfect resume. Again, perfect meaning you have recruiters and hiring managers reaching out to you with the roles that you actually want. So let's dive in. All right, guys, I'm going to put a disclaimer here that this is not a finished document. In fact, this document has not actually even been proofread yet. However, we just had a live coaching call in our free community and people thought it was really valuable. So I thought I would share it with more folks. So if you're going to be sassy or salty about it not being completely done, this is a good time to stop watching the video. So let's dive in. Your resume, one of the most important things for you to know is that there's a lot of different theories out there on resumes. I will say this is our theory. These are our principles. These are our core values that have worked extremely well for 600 plus students over the last few years. So let's just pretend you are either currently a product manager or you are somebody who wants to pivot into the product manager career path. What you want to start with is first identifying, hey, what is the next role for me? So ideally, you've seen our Career Clarity, Career Nirvana videos where we help, map out what that next best role for you is. But let's say you have figured it out and hey, I'm going to be an associate product manager. I need to just get an entry level role. Or maybe you are a senior product manager or you can be a senior product manager. Awesome. Your next step is not starting with you and all of your accomplishments. That is a very hard way to write a resume. Your next step should be identifying all of the keywords that show up when you research product manager role descriptions. And you are going to see things like owning end-to-end product roadmaps, leading cross-functional teams, user, customer, and company experience. You will see things like being a liaison between, team and shareholders, things like that. And these are the exact keywords that show up when you have researched enough product manager roles. Now, here's the cool part. Between your keywords and the repeated skills that are requested across all of these job, role descriptions that you've been looking at, you will see that there are a lot that are repeated. And so what you want to do is you take these repeated keywords and skills, as I've already done here for you, and you list them out. And I like to just use a Google sheet where you list out all of the keywords and the skills. And then right next to it, you want to just write down, or even you can start with a checkbox. It's like, and you want to just spend some time thinking, do I have any experience or any accomplishments that can speak to this thing that they're asking for? Have I ever led cross-functional teams before? Have I ever, created an end-to-end roadmap? You're just going to ask that and then either put a little check if you're struggling to come up or articulate. It's like, I know I've done this before. Just put a little checkbox next to it. Then what we're going to do is in the column right next to that, if you're a career pivoter, this is especially important, but even if you're already a product manager, and this works for every role, just to clarify, not only product managers, you are going to write down, your experience with that keyword, essentially, with that thing that they're asking for. Now, this is really interesting. A lot of the examples, and these are all folks who have successfully landed these roles. I know they work. I know they had recruiters and hiring managers reaching out to them. Most of these people were career pivoters. These were not people who were, some of them, or one of them was, but most of them were coming from a completely different industry and wanted to get into a product manager tech role. And they were able to translate their experience from the construction world, from the healthcare world, and they were able to translate it into product manager speech or language. We do a lot of this with military veterans as well. You have to translate from military, speak into English, into specific product role. You go through a couple of translations here. And this is what you get. Notice the things that I've highlighted. And again, my disclaimer is that this is not completely finished. There will be a couple of other things highlighted, but about 95% of your resume is coming from your keyword research. And then the only things that you are adding are your specific accomplishments, your official stats, so to speak. These are the product, the product's project sizes that we worked on, from this dollar amount to this dollar amount, or this number of people to this number of people. These are the number of years. These are the skills that, I've learned along the way. And I'm not a fan of lying. Actually go learn these skills. Actually, only include the ones that you do have some experience with. And then the experience section, again, this is somebody coming from the construction world into tech product management. But a lot of what they did in construction was very similar to what a product manager, especially an associate product manager, would do. They would collaborate with cross-functional teams, building a roadmap for project completion, including budget, schedule, and contract compliance. You could even make this better by saying, came under budget by X on average, or X dollar amount, or X percent. And you can add your quantifiable things there. Not necessarily as important with entry-level roles, because they're not expecting you to have a ton of experience, where you would have all of these quantifiable things that you totally owned. However, usually you can still add some quantifiable things in there. So as you go through this, you'll see this is pretty much all keywords that they made their list and they said, yep, I have this thing, and they checked it off, and then they were able to add it to their resume. Now, this is a really good exercise to go through, especially if you are going for a more senior role, or a product manager, depending on where you're at, could be a fairly senior role, where you want to make sure what you're doing is you want to present yourself as, hey, all of this experience that I have has led me to this point to be the perfect person to solve the problems that your company is hiring to solve right now. And so that's really the goal here. And it's irrelevant. This is somebody who came from healthcare. It's irrelevant if you were, speaking with senior leaders who are shareholders and directors, of engineering versus VPs, medical directors. It's like, well, does that experience translate? Have you done other things to learn how engineers speak, how UX, UI designers speak? Have you done things on your own and or within your job so that you are now ready for this role? And you'll see there's very few things highlighted here. Most of this, the things that are highlighted, are the things that are going to be unique, personalized to you. Pretty much everything else is going to come from your keyword description, your keyword research. So this is just something, hopefully this helps you, or if you know somebody who is looking for a job right now. I know a lot of folks get stuck on this resume stage. Hopefully this will alleviate some of the stress that comes along with it. Usually folks are able to get this done in 60 minutes or less once they've done the research, once they have those keywords. Their resume, their LinkedIn profile's pretty much done. And you do it once. If you do it right, you only have to do it once. So if you need added help, that free coaching call that I mentioned, it's in this free group that we've got. We just recently created this to help folks who, one, our paid coaching cohorts kept filling up. So we wanted to have a way that we could help people, even if we didn't have space. And then number two, we know there's a lot of people who are laid off, struggling right now. So if you know anybody who could use just added job search tips, even promotion pay raise tips, we've got some things for that as well. Feel free to invite them to the group. I will leave a link below, or you can just shoot me a message if the platform does not allow me to on LinkedIn. They usually can't post links. So just shoot me a message if you would like access to it, or somebody who does. And I hope you guys are having a good one. Talk to you soon.